Well, everything with divine timing. I will say that. I will say that. When God say do something, just do it. Because any second thoughts, any lingering, um, overthinking to consider, reconsider, is just allowing room and space and time for anything negative to seep in and um, take hold of your decision and moving forward. Um, it allows fear to break in. It allows um, doubt to seep in. It allows for the enemy to say, not today, not right now. Especially for me knowing the enemy so well, um, because I love the Lord and I've literally gone to the depths of hell, like standing outside that thing, like again and again. Like I done repeated some of the same cycles, and it's just like the enemy, like, you still here, nigga? Like, I'm like, man, let me know your tactic. What is you doing? Why is you keep popping up? And it was me just allowing something that's already defeated, something that's already been conquered, something that's already been taken care of as far as the decision for the hands that I desire to keep my life in, which is the Lord, my mass. You know what I'm saying? That God level Christ consciousness, that best friend relationship with God, like that divinity, that mastering of both masculine and feminine, uh, divine energies, like the light and the dark integrated into one and alchemized to produce a lit way for those that may be lost in the dark or those that may need a way out. And when you chosen to lead, and you keep getting called by your mans, he like, what's on the other side of this thing. You didn't beat everything. What are you holding on to? I'll be honest. I'll be honest. He broke it down to me like he always does, just in a natural form. It's definitely um, 2/11, February 11th. Um, I woke up at 11:11 with this on my mind, and I tried to suppress it and go back to sleep. Like I'm gonna do it when I get up. And I was just so comfortable, but I had to wake up out of that and do it. Something about that full moon Leo energy, you know what I mean? The lion in me ready to step out here, ready to tell my story, ready to tell my testimony, and you know, uh, even if I gotta do it with shades on the whole time, just to not even block the light, I got the light within, so it's always like I'm looking at myself, but more so, so maybe gotta hide my tears. You know what I'm saying? I see it, cause it get dark, but it also get light, and light is where it's at right now. What a better way than to start the story than how it ended. It ended with how I began. You know what I'm saying? Walking into this door, unhinged, unchained, broken free, man, reborn. You know, I made a choice consciously to take a path less traveled not too long back. I always been with the Lord, but when you gotta do that shadow work, you gotta do that mirror work. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, face them demons. And, you gotta smell your own ish. You know what I'm saying, figuratively speaking. You gotta hold up that tissue with your ish on it. What you been eating? What's in there? What's making it stink? What's making it diarrhea? What's Why is it green like that? Why is it looking unhealthy? What's going on? You gotta analyze your ish. You gotta analyze your own ish. You ain't gotta analyze nobody else's ish, but you gotta analyze your own ish. and turn it to flowers, fertilizer, to produce flowers for somebody else. Of course, flush it, but it may have had a purpose. Did it serve its purpose? Because if you don't know, you're gonna keep running back to it because maybe it needs to serve a purpose, but you ain't learning. I learned, man. There's some things that had a hold on me, and God said, you cannot bring that. You can't bring it. You can't bring it. And I think I sat with the question in my mind, like knowing I wasn't gonna be able to bring what I wanted to bring. It was karmic. It was gonna bring me pain eventually again. Even if I had developed a strategy, a strategized way around it to get around anything that this particular thing that I'm referring to um, was attached to. You know what I'm saying? That had back secret passageways to that really was destroying my soul at one point. And you know, having to depart from something that I felt like there was times when I felt like I needed it. And I justified it with God, like God, I'm trying to do your work. I'm trying to be confident and talk on it. I'm trying to stay up and do work for you. I'm trying. And every time I just kept losing, man. I kept losing. But the loss was in the decision to even try to justify it and try to be strong, man, when he said, be careful. Be careful not to fall into sin. Be careful not to think that you're so big and so tough to that thing that you don't slip and fall. And slipping and falling was trying to keep hold of it and going into a new life, going into a rebirth, going into, you know, and fully, fully following, fully following Christ, man. You know, um, you must be reborn. You must have a rebirth if you want to see that kingdom realm. You must have them pure thoughts if you want to see God. And how are you going to, you know, lead when you still got something in your hand that's leading you astray? You think it's sweet, and then it don't be sweet for me. And it's a lot of things, but starting right here, I just want to tell you where I'm at before I can disarm the whole thing, because it is my dirt, and this is me breaking through. This is me breaking apart from everything that was done underground, um, and the shadow work, mirror work, truth analyzation, all that included, and finally breaking out as a little sprout. Realizing that that's the first step to becoming that tree, and this, you know, proudly breaking out of that dirt like I am now, and revealing that it was me underneath of all that dirt. Maybe some knew, maybe some didn't. It gives people the opportunity to judge. It gives people the opportunity to say, yeah, attach the dirt to who it belongs to properly, and judge and put the two together, and associate that, and make it that person now, it being me, and me realizing that probably is gonna happen and was always gonna happen. I accepted it before I came out here, because I knew that the only way that would give opportunity for people to even do that, they would have to notice my growth first. They would literally have to acknowledge the fact. Whether they acknowledge the fact, that's just another way of acknowledging that man Aaron decided to grow. Now, he literally decided to grow. Yeah, that's his dirt. But he broke through that dirt. That's no longer him. He the tree outside of it now. And the fruit that he's providing off, it it ruffles feathers, it helps, it hurts, it messes with your energy, it disturbs your demons sometimes, depending on everybody react different, but I know that it's going to provide so much space and room for birds to have nests, and take advantage of the fact that I decided to fully grow and become the tree that God had placed in me as a seed. And, you know, in the word it says a seed must first grow, or a seed must first die in the ground. A seed must first die in its dirt to be able to grow into a tree. And it's very true. And I left something back behind me that I can hold up and say, hey, I was doing this, and this had a hold on me. It had me justifying doing it and using it and keeping a hold of it to God. Sitting down with my man's God, one who I love, and say, Lord, can you please excuse this sin? Pretty much, because it's the only thing holding me back from being whole. And I want to be whole, Lord, but I need it. I need it to help me be whole. And even when he said, no, you don't. I've got everything that you need and more for you to never, ever be unwhole again. But Lord, let me tell you, like I said today, it's 2:11. It's completely whited out outside. It snowed again. Uh, a month a month ago, around the 7th or 8th, 6th or whatever date that was, snowed big time, big blizzard, right? Felt like I was in the same position. This thing wasn't holding me back anymore. This thing being uh, a drug, and specifically not a drug that I'm very proud of, but I'll be honest, probably for me, uh, one of the biggest holes as far as a drug has been had a hold on me in my life, um, which is meth, in the form, meth. I do not look like anything that I've been through. I've seen the faces of meth. I've been in the DARE class. I was doing meth. Um, I was doing meth in the form of a drug called T, and I guess that's kind of like mixed with Adderall, so it has a little, hyperactive focus point to it. I think that's what I enjoyed most. But everything else that was attached to it just it had me falling into a spiral and cycles of sin. Um, uh, Sins that I'm not proud of at all. It got very dark for me. It got very, very dark for me. But in doing it, like I said, I kind of learned how to beat it. I kind of learned how to balance it in my life. I got to a point where, I didn't do any of the sins that it was attached to successfully. And this was recently. But why I even had to look back after like 3 months to even do this thing again was I got scared to do this. God said it's time to do this. He presented me with the opportunity to get a little funds because I had, obeyed him and say, I'm gonna enter God's rest and just work fully for God. And he gave me some snow, and I made like 800 shoveling snow, doing what I know how to do from back in the day. I turned that snow into some dough. You know what I mean? Paid up my bills. And I felt like I got a fresh start. I felt like God was really been holding me. He was like, "Now the big breakthrough coming. But you got to go ahead and tell that story and break loose. You got to make it official with me for real. Let them folk know that you chosen. Let them folk know that you mine for real. How you get here? I redeemed you, right? I transformed you, right? I transformed your heart, right? You're not that same person no more, right?" I'm like, no. I got scared. And I got scared, man. I got so scared. I got so fearful, so doubtful, so just. I said, I needed a little help. Man, I should have took that trash out. I had the evidence, the little pipe that I was using. Yeah, the pipe that I was using when the last time I did it, from where I had just moved at, I had brought everything to where I'm at now, and it had a little residue in it. And really, with all my heart, I only kept that piece because I wanted to have it as an artifact for when I actually did this. I knew I was gonna have to tell my story. I wanted to show it on all that. Like the devil was fooling me because I really had good intentions behind it. I wasn't gonna do it no more. I ain't care that it was gone. But when I brought it to this space and realized I had it that one morning when I was sad, down, and depressed, and I wasn't even that down. I felt all right. God gave me a way out like He always do, but I had it. I felt like I was in a good mood. I looked at it. It had some residue in it. I put that fire to that thing. Hit the little bit that was in there. Man, I should have just stopped right there. It felt so good. It felt so good to have that thing back in my system, man. That I did what I had to do. I cleaned up a little bit. I was straightening up the place, making it look nice, you know what I'm saying? Um, I thought about it. I thought about it. Man, I had a little coin and had enough coin to go get some more. I want to go get some more. I said I did that. Slipped right into seeing attached to it. And it didn't feel right at all. It felt like I was playing Judas with the Lord after doing it so many times before. Like I set myself up. Did I really just do that? Did I really just become reborn? Go 3 months good, solid, good, straight, all good, nothing, and just throw it all away like that? Digging through the trash and then led me to go get more. No way. I could have done the digging into the trash, but led me to go get more. That was, I guess sometimes growth means taking a step back and or revisiting things to kind of analyze it, but with a different direction, a different approach, a different reasoning. I was trying to analyze it for real at the same time, and I was using it because it did make me feel energized and ready. I recorded videos and everything that I display if need be, but it just didn't feel right to even put the stuff out because it wasn't genuine. It wasn't real. It was boosted by a battery. It wasn't God powered. It was God allowed so that I could see myself in that retrospect. But it wasn't fully powered by God. And I ain't I knew God wasn't going to, be sharing his glory with nobody. And so I knew I would have to display and say I'm on meth, saying I'm breaking through from meth, but I needed the meth to break through from the. Don't make sense, man. You don't need that liquid courage or that powdered courage or that fire courage. God provide that light. Man think he got his own light, but God said it'll leave you on your back in pain. I don't know all my scriptures left to right by the book and the verse and all that, but I got the word in my heart, and so I don't forget it. I'm not one of those, you know. Um, I'm not one of those believers who look in the mirror and forget what they look like when they leave. I know what I look like. I know what's holding me accountable. I know who I am. I know what I'm put on this earth to do. I know, and I know the Lord, and I know what He wants from me, and I know His plans for me, and I don't know them all, but I know that His plans for me are to prosper, not to hurt or harm me. If I'm running to things that are hurting or harming me, well, something's wrong. After it ran out, man, I felt bad again. And this is the cycle that the devil would continuously put me in. I think I'd be good until I run out. I want to get some more. Now, that was the last batch. But, man, it had me on the chain so bad, bro. I didn't run back to the sins that it was attached with. But it itself was a sin. Because I felt so bad that I had did that. So ashamed in my heart that I had did that. I felt like I ran out of grace. I felt like I made my man's God real, real mad. I felt like we couldn't talk, so I didn't talk to him. I would do that back in my time during my little, my journey for real, and doing the shadow work and all that. I would realize not pray. I realized not even acknowledge anything that was coming up on the screen algorithmically, like trying to God trying to get my attention. God trying to send me verses. I would ignore all those things, float past them. I really would intentionally, because I didn't want to have to feel the guilt that I was already feeling times 10 of trying to skip past the Lord. I knowing I'm hearing the Lord, and it felt bad because it was literally coming in all directions. He was making me feel it every time. I needed it. I needed it. I really won't even get nothing done, but I felt better. I felt better because I felt better. But what was really there was the masking of how I really felt. I felt terrible. Felt like all my hard work, all my progress thrown away, and I done came too far. how did I get back here? I said to myself. I had to rid it. I had to rid it. I got rid of it. I got rid of it. Threw it in the trash again. The next day, felt like I needed it a little more, so I did the rest of it that I had thrown away and really, really completely finished it out. And I recorded myself throwing it into the woods in the back. Far enough to where it's lost, but not far enough for real. I can go out there and find it. I'm telling you, for days I was looking out that window like it's right there. I could go get that thing and at least be halfway to my mission. My mission would have been to go get some more, honestly. But I had run out of funds, so I couldn't go get some more. And that was the issue. So that's what kept me from not going to get it. But I still felt terrible. I still went through my dark night of the store. I still had to purge it out. Sleeping. Like it was jail in here, something like that. And really going through it, but really wasn't talking to God. I burst out loud to him. I teared up. This acting sucks. Why am I going through this? Why you got me going through this? Thinking that it's his fault. He know in my heart. He trying to build me at the time. You know. He know what my heart and my mind was. If I would have had enough coins, even half, my man would have let me go for the half. I would have ran right back to that because of how I was feeling. But I allowed my heart to speak to the Lord, and He hears the heart. That's what He judges. He heard my heart. He heard my cries. Before I knew it, I was awake. I was good. I took a shower after 3 days of not taking a shower, stinking, reeking. Took a shower. Took a nice bath actually. Salt bath. Cleansed good. Oh man, I felt so good after that. Heard a good word. This is Sunday. Hey. And then, man, this week came. It's like it's time. It's time. I'm ready. I'm ready. My protection came in. Ancestors, my angels, my spirit guides. God telling me it's time, baby boy. It's time. You ready? You done released that, right? My mind was a little bit still on it. A little bit still on it. I tell you, I was taking a nice clean bath again today, earlier. And I was listening to Transcendent Tarot. Shout out Jessica. And she was talking about, that the same experience, like right on current time. That before I go through that door and make that choice, it's kind of like you got to recollect and inspect the past one more time and make sure you know what you're leaving behind because you can't bring it with you. You can't go back and get it once you cross this little threshold here. Man, I blacked out in that bathroom. I guess it was too hot or something, but really it was the purging. It was God really purging that out of me. And I blacked out. My head was bad. There wasn't nothing wrong with me. I blacked out. I could have bust my head open, but God had me in His hand. And got done with my bath, whatever. Just was thinking about it. And it was snowing. And I realized, like, man, the snow gonna cover that thing up, wash it away, or it's gonna be some weeks before I can go back and find it. So that's dead. I ain't going back. I gotta do this I gotta do this work. I gotta step out there and talk, man. Because it's eating me up. My truth is eating me up because I'm seed at this point. I'm ready to burst out. I'm growing in the underground now. At this point, like I come out and I got some leaves. It look like I've been out for 2 weeks growing for real. Like I'm ready. Like the tree in me wants to be now, but I can't bring these roots up there. These roots is tied down to all these roots that got me structured. That got me standing on business. You feel me? Solid, can't be moved. But all that underground stuff gotta stay underground. If I'm breaking through, I can own the dirt around and tell others, how I look, how I sound, how I feel, how it'll be for them to get to the same point. And out of love and compassion, you know, do it for that. And not just do it for me, and not just do it for God, but do it because I know how many souls it's gonna help, how many seeds it's gonna help who are comfortable in their dirt, because there's not a safe space that is given for us to bring these things out. And some of the things that I am going to expose of myself are not things that I ever wanted to expose of myself and doing. But now that I'm a new identity, a new creature, fully transformed, reborn, I have a new identity in Christ, and he don't care nothing about that. Everything that I've done is thrown in the sea of forgetfulness. Like, he remembers them not. He judging my heart, and it's pure right now. And he told me that's why I made it snow again. Not just so you can go get some dope, because I definitely got a roster full of clients that's waiting for that snow service on tomorrow. And he making sure that I get mine for sure. But the fact that, you know, I had made a skit the last time, and I was shoveling. I had got done shoveling the lady's yard. It was nice and clean and pretty. And then it started snowing again. I had to come back the next morning to the lady's yard and do her jump again. He said, "You messing up a masterpiece." It was a joke, because it was like, when you mess up God's masterpiece, or mess up something that God was trying to masterfully do, and so now he got to go back and correct your mistakes. So I thought I was pure white already, and he put that pure white back on, you know, covered it back up. So he knew my decisions already. He knew what I was going to do already. He knew. I felt like he even gave me a little grace the first time, just so I could see myself embarrass myself in front of him and do him like that. And for him to still love me and not cut me off of a good thing, for him to still remain promising and faithful, for him to still have open arms to get me the right here to say, "Now tell your story, baby boy. You're not that anymore. But because you're not that, you can learn from it, you've learned from it, and you can help others learn with it. Your experiences have given you so much value for others to gain. Yeah, it's going to cost you telling your truths, but your truths that were you are not you anymore. And the new you is not living in a lie and ain't going to lie. And to stand boldly and say, yeah, that was me, but I changed to this, and all of it made me exactly who I am now. But it's no longer who I am now moving forward. And so I say, what a perfect way to begin the story with, you know, the ending of that story, of that chapter. And this how I started. You know what I'm saying? Fully in the know of what's about to happen and where it's gonna go. Because God is gonna take it up there. Um, Elevator, stairs, walking, whatever. However way I get there, I'm going up there, because it's only up from here. When you decide to grow, the tree only go up. It only get bigger. It only get thicker. It only branch out more. It only grows. But I got the fruit already right now. Courage. You know what I'm saying? Self-control. I can't go back. It's the official one right here. I finally did it, the first video. And I guess what I'll be doing is just kind of like a diary mode thing, like walking in order how I got from Lil Aaron, Lil Ace, Ace B, Aaron Renee, Ron, Ron Flo Godly, to now Aaron Godly the Gift, and how I got right here and moving forward. What's going on with me as well? I alchemized my life, turned my pain to purpose, and pretty much turning all my past to presence for you all. Presence in the forms of gifts. Show you that God's presence was in the whole design, masterfully, masterpiece of a life design. And every puzzle piece that was included, I never saw the bigger picture, but that's why I kept putting the wrong pieces when I took it in my hands to go ahead and do the puzzle. I let go and let God and surrendered. He gave me a vision and showed me a little bit of what the bigger picture was. That's how I knew. It's love. God love me, and I love y'all. So